I'm Dr. Randal Langley. Welcome to the Pinnacle Leaders Podcast, where we share life-impacting content centered on lordship, leadership, and lifestyle. Our goal is to serve leaders like you and help you maximize your potential and reach the pinnacle of your calling. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel so we can serve others too. Now, let's enjoy today's show. Today we'll hear from Dr. Jason Williams, an exercise physiologist and teaching faculty member with Florida State University. Dr. Williams has more than a decade of experience in higher education and is a human performance coach. You're going to really want to lean into and listen to this one. He's also the founder of Williams Sports and Fitness. He's very passionate about helping God's people live spiritually and physically healthy lives. He'll be sharing biblical wisdom for how caring for our bodies can have a kingdom or a spiritual impact. So, Dr. Jason, it's good to have you with us. Thanks for being with us on today's episode. What are some habits or some resources or just some practical ways that we can be better stewards of our health? What are just, in your field and the people that you work with, what are just some simple things? Because it might seem even overwhelming for some people. Where do they start? Where do they begin this journey? How do they reconnect if they've kind of fallen off the proverbial wagon, need to get back on track? Which is some practical things.
Practical things. So the audience is leaders and spiritual leaders. So right. I would submit to leaders to first off, don't think of it as an all or nothing type thing. Some days we don't spend as much time in prayer, and we're not as intentional with God, but we don't throw that out and say, well, I just can't do this Christianity thing. I didn't read my Bible. But that's exactly what we do when we fall off the wagon with our diet. Mm-hmm. We think, all is lost. I can't do this. But it's not about one day. It's not about 1 week. It's about consistently doing the right thing. So consistency is everything, whether it's a Bible college, whether it's a sporting team, whether it's diet. It's all about consistency, consistent gains. The second thing that I would say to leaders is to don't make light of being healthy. I hear it all the time in the pulpit. I don't lift weights because weights are heavy. I don't run, I run to the refrigerator. Right. And it's funny, right? Yeah. It's funny, we laugh, but they're the model in the pulpit. And I think the psychology behind it is, I don't like how I look, I don't like how I feel, so I'm going to make margin for why I'm this way and poke fun at it. But I don't think that's the kind of culture as a leader that you should be creating. Mm-hmm. I think you should be creating a culture of, hey, health is... When I was a kid, I was always made fun of for drinking non-fat milk and living that life, because that's sort of, when you're not living that way, you want to attack that. As leaders, we should have a culture of, hey, healthy is a good thing. Right. Good food choices, that's a good decision. Walking regularly, good for you. As opposed to the opposite, which I often see. So it starts in the pulpit. Encourage your people to live healthy. Yeah. And that'll translate. That'll happen. Right?
What advice then would you give to anybody who is, I want to say right now, they know, look, I'm not in a very healthy place. Are there some resources? Are there some just places you could direct them to begin to get on? I know, pray, ask God to lead you and get back on track, but what are some other, just maybe a couple of keys where they could turn this thing around and do a 180, head back in the right direction?
Yeah, so in your community group, I'm in a community group of 5 brothers. We meet Monday morning, and we're very transparent. We pray over each other, and we hold each other accountable as much as we can, right? So I would get with them first and say, hey, this is where I'm at. I don't like where I'm at. I want you to pray, encourage me, hold me accountable.
That's good.
I would start there.
So don't be isolated. Don't allow yourself to get isolated.
Don't be isolated. Yeah. Find something that you like to do and do it. You don't have to go to the gym. A lot of people just loathe the idea of getting on a treadmill. I don't like treadmill, mm-hmm. right? Some people don't like the idea of lifting weights, but there's something that you like to do. And really and truthfully, Dr. Langley, Exercise is only a small component of it. When I was a TA getting my doctorate, I had to review a book written by an officer at the Naval Academy who's now gone on to be a department head somewhere. But the first page of that book, he said, I don't know why he used 87%, but it always stuck with me. Maybe that was the effect that he was after. But he said diet is 87% of it. Mm-hmm. And he's absolutely spot on. There's only so much you can do. Did you know that marathoners, they track this, they've looked at this, that people who regularly run marathons will gain and get fatter over each decade of their lives, right? It is important to move. I'm not discounting that, but if your goal is to lose weight, it really is, and I would even use as strong as 90% of it. It's about controlling what you eat, controlling those hormones. And so going back to your question prior, what can you do? Well, I recently went cross country to drive, and I spent, several days in the car, and all I ate was protein bars. Mm-hmm. That's just because I didn't want to stop.
Right.
And it was just easy to pop protein bars and beef jerky. I must have lost 6 pounds. First thing my wife says when she sees me is like, "You look like a skeleton." Right. So practically what you can do is eat a little more protein.
Right.
That's a good first step. So get in your community group, get prayed over, find something you like to do and do it. That could be basketball, like your mentor, or it could be swimming, it could be walking. Yeah. Find something you like to do, but more importantly, dial in your nutrition. Intuitively, we know what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay away from high GI carbs. Stay away from saturated fat. Eat fruits and vegetables, and up your protein.
Yeah.
And up your water.
Stay from these gimmick things, fad things.
And be consistent.
Yeah, be consistent. So I've always heard it's like, you have your eating plan, your nutrition, your cardio plan, your strength training plan, and your sleep plan. Kind of like all four of those can form a stool that you can sit on. So I've always tried to keep those things somewhat dialed in, but the idea of 87% being on what, garbage in, garbage out, right? It's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a man, but what comes out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just, I know that we're living in a time when people can get distracted, but the race, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Success is not found in what you do in a moment, it's found in what you do daily. That consistent practice of healthy lifestyles, the intentional, consistent practice of those things over a period of time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just had this short time, to be together, but if people want to learn more, Dr. Williams, how can they connect with you?
Yeah, they can email me at jwilliams16@fsu.edu. I'll respond to them.
16 at fsu.edu.
.edu.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can I email you if I'm a Florida Gator fan?
You can.
Okay.
See, I'm not a Florida State fan. I follow them. I'm an Alabama fan.
Okay.
I will not respond if you're from Auburn. If I see AU, EDU, there'll be no response. No, I'm kidding.
All seriousness aside, all kidding aside, if they want to connect with you and maybe just reach out to you for maybe you can point them in the right direction.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'll even give them a nutrition template, giving them exactly what they should be eating. Now there's issues with that, but it's a start.
A start, yeah.
Yeah.
Some basic guidelines.
Yeah.
To get. So Jason Williams.
No, J Williams. I'm sorry. First initial, J Williams 16.
J Williams 16.
Yep. At fsu.edu.
At fsu.edu. Excellent. Well, I pray that our listeners will do that. So thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited about some of the things that you're developing and even some things that you and I can partner in together. I honestly believe, obviously, again, we want to bring our lives under His lordship, but part of that is the whole me, right? And then good leadership principles, but that lifestyle side, the lifestyles, things that keep us in the game for the long haul. Satan wants to take you out, right? He doesn't care how he takes you out. He just wants you out. And one of the quickest ways out, we only get one body. We get no do-overs, right? And so it's important to steward this physical body if we're going to maximize our potential and live as a pinnacle leader at the top of our calling. So
Yep.
we really appreciate it. Hopefully people will reach out to you and get some.
Would love that. Would love that.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thanks for joining us, friends. Until next time, God bless.
Thanks for listening to the Pinnacle Leaders Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to this show on Apple Podcasts or your preferred podcast platform. If you have suggestions for our show, we'd love to know what you think. Visit www.randallangley.com for previous podcast episodes and other leadership resources. And also, you can connect with me through social media. We exist to serve leaders like you. Grace and peace, my friends.